They don't ever get like you there, so countries. Water. Or something. I did, I use this first time.
Yeah, not at the point of motion to adjourn.
No, we are not, unfortunately.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's here. It's good.
That is true.
Yeah, you know, we don't normally have air conditioning at my house, so I find it a blessing to have to come over. So that changed this year. My mom's first year with air conditioning house this year.
It's so good, like, it's nice to shit. I love that.
Agenda item J, discuss and act on the county grantal board or something very good.
Yeah, so the middle of June, as you see by the email that I included on June 17th, I was contacted by Dawn Vick. So apparently Governor Evers added money to his biennial budget for counties in which tribal governments are headquartered. These funds were also approved by the Joint Committee on Finance as a one-time equal payment to counties. Now, there is the potential that we could get another payment in 2027, but that has not been for sure so far. So the thing about this is that I wasn't contacted till June 17th. This had to have been signed by June 30th, so I brought it to Ron, who went ahead and signed it. Because obviously we didn't want to lose out on the $200,000 that we were awarded in this process. As it says here, there are no strings attached to these funds and we can use them how we wish. There's also no reporting requirements on these funds either. So Ron went ahead and signed the, and you also received this in your packet, the grant agreement. Now, because this was not something that was budgeted as revenue or, planned for, we have to have the conversation where this money needs to be deposited to when we get this check and how we're going to use it or distribute it. So there you go. Any thoughts?
Oh, and the whole chunk. I would say what we can use them for, not use them for. Man, that's why we got it. That's my opinion.
Just a theory, obviously, I think we want to utilize these dollars in a very strategic way, not just waste them. I think we'd be great to partner with the whole truck nation to see if there's a way we can maybe make things better, improve a partnership with the whole truck nation. That is there a project they're working on that needs one-time dollars? They partner a lot with Jackson County on producing new, helping with the road funding. And this is a no strings attached, and it's kind of coming from the people that have full truck or Native Americans in their community. So we got a nice to utilize that, help strengthen the relationship with them. So what that is, I don't know. We can reach out to them and see what they have going on, and we can use some of the funds, all the funds in a partnership that benefits the county in addition with the whole truck nation.
I don't want to speak for the whole Chunk Nation, but I just, a thought came to my mind that the benefit the county utilizing these funds is the powwow barrels. Brings in a lot of economic revenue when they have powwows, and I know those grounds right now need updating a lot. So maybe that's something that we can bring up to them.
Any thoughts? I agree with Mike to put it in that account for now, and then we could research future projects.
You want to make that a motion?
Yes. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So that's, when do we expect to get the check?
They didn't give me a timeline on that check. I mean, she made it sound pretty simple when I talked to her, like, you sign this, get it back, we'll send you a check, but I'm sure, as we all know, government doesn't always work that quickly, so I don't have a timeline.
Next, is the credit card for veteran service.
That's me. I don't know, did you guys get this letter thing on your iPads that pretty much has it all spelled out? Well, as plain as English as I can put it, so if you got any questions for me, the main thing that you're gonna be using it for is when we do our conference registration. And we get our hotels for our 2 conferences a year. Some other whatever miscellaneous things that we can use it for, but I think I talked to Mary. And I'm gonna probably go through CCU because I have Veterans Park is through CCU. So I have that up there ready for that part, just to kind of keep it, and we already have some credit cards that are through CCU, so it makes it easy. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the issuance of the credit card with policies. So
I'll second it, but then you pay that out of your budget.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All in favor?
I,
Opposed? That is approved. DHHS Director updated job description.
So overall, the DHHS director job description was revised. We worked with human resources on the management team at DHHS. Overall, we wanted it to just reflect more concise, professional and current language, while also maintaining the care and responsibilities of that position. Updates were intended to improve clarity, and better reflect the expectations of that role overall. No changes were proposed to the position's wage or current classification, and it was approved at our DHHS board.
Any questions? We have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved. Discuss act on virtual meeting attendance.
Requested that be placed on the agenda only because of the fact that the last law enforcement committee meeting, we had a member of the public virtual program. During that meeting, and the discussion taking place, boys came out and using the F word and said a bunch of idiots. I don't think that the virtual system should be used for the public. State statute 19.81 subsection 1 states that you have to make a reasonable attempt to provide a public place to come to the committee meeting, which we have, and which I do believe is satisfying the request. I also concerned about allowing the Jackson County Pulse, which is a virtual informational thing. I think that I would even consider it a news media.
Social media.
So I'm really concerned about that being in there. I think we should just limit it to county board supervisor and department heads because of an illness or because of a vacation or whatever, not attend the meeting personally, but they be allowed to the virtual. And for groups that we're doing business with, who may not be able to travel here for it. But as far as being used by the public, things like the false, I think, couldn't be done. I guess one of the things I could ask for is that we contact other counties and see how they're providing it. Very good.
So I did reach out to other counties because I knew this was coming up. And so, boy, just like Sarah talks about administrative coordinators versus county administrators, it's a mixed bag of how each county handles it. I mean, there are some counties that do not allow virtual attendance at all. There are other counties that, similar to what you just said, only allow attendance by supervisors for whatever reason they're not able to attend in person, and for presenters, you know, things like today having Andy Phillips there to, you know, present on what we needed. And then there are counties that do allow virtual attendance, and they post that link for that virtual attendance. But they have very strict rules. It's for observational only. You know, I did some work with IT last week at the end of the week to talk more about Teams, which is typically what we use for virtual attendance, and how we can make that observational, like we are able to, when I make that meeting link, to make it so the public doesn't have that opportunity to speak. Like if they want to speak, they have to be here in person. So it is a variety. I can certainly send this out for you to look at, everyone to look at, and what different counties do. But yeah, it ranges a lot. I know that I also, Sam, are you still on with us?
Yeah. Yep.
I did reach out to court counsel too for a little guidance, so I'll let Sam speak.
Yeah, so this is an area when it comes to virtual attendance where the board really has quite a bit of discretion in deciding how they want to allow virtual attendance. You know, obviously, the public has to be given an opportunity to observe and view meetings, public meetings, and that's generally done by allowing them to come in person, which is the standard. The county board could provide that, you know, a virtual stream link of some sort should be provided on each agenda. And we could, and then if you wanted to limit participation from the public by that avenue, for example, we could assist with crafting language that specifies, you know, this is for the public to observe, but that if the public wishes to essentially guarantee that they are able to observe and then participate in the meeting, they should appear in person. Basically, you know, the county can't get in trouble for giving more opportunity to view and observe the meeting, but we should make clear, depending on how you want to structure that or how you want the rule to be, that, you know, it's not a guarantee. That way, if there's some IT issue or tech issue with a particular meeting, you know, the meeting can still move forward. And that's consistent with how municipalities do it around the state as well. That, you know, they give the option, but it's not necessarily it's not a guaranteed option. It's, you know, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, and any more specific questions if you want to approach this and try some policy or amend chapter 2 in some way to provide for this.
Guess the other thing that I would see that could create a problem for the administrator of the virtual conferencing is the fact that we have a little over 22,000 citizens in Jackson County. If you probably had just 50 of them request beyond this every day, you're creating, not every day, but for the meetings, but you're creating a large problem for them.
Yeah,
To do it.
yeah, there's a lot to get separate requests and those kinds of things, and let's see if I can just show you. I did something a little bit differently for this meeting, so hopefully, just give me a second while I show that. Sam, I'm sorry, you probably won't be able to see this once I.
Oh, no worries. And I can kind of see on the TV.
Because that is a thing that in the past, what we were doing is that if people wanted to attend virtually, that they would email me and ask me for a request, or they could call me. And so today, when we look at our community calendar, a couple of different things I've done too is that it's cornered here by the community calendar. It shows that if you have any questions regarding meeting dates, times, agendas, minutes, or virtual attendance, you can contact me, because people I discovered with the last kind of special meetings, didn't know how to get a hold of me to get that information, and I didn't want that to be an issue any longer. So when we look at today's meeting, what I did is that I did a sidebar for that meeting. So virtual attendance, they can click on that link. Here's the meeting ID and the passcode, and it's available to them so that people don't have to reach out to me individually to get that information anymore. The agenda's here, the minutes are here, the packet is here. So that is an option that I can continue it that way. If that's what we decide or what you decide as a committee that you want to continue allowing virtual attendance. I would continue setting those meetings up, but I would put that information here, and I would also set it up in accordance that it's only an observational meeting, that people aren't able to have mic access. But that's, again, up to you as a committee to decide what you would like to.
I think you'll make sure we have consistency on it, so like, I know like extension and DHHS, we actually copy the Teams link on the agenda, so you can see it there. I always wondered how people got on law enforcement, because we never made that an option, but there was always, people there virtually, so they must have reached out personally.
Individual, yes.
And that's kind of a gray area, because you're giving preference to one group of people, but not making that available to all people. So I think we have to be consistent, we gotta do all or none. Out of all of us here, I think I'm the one that's probably the most famous on the post. I'm still pinned on top, that's awesome. But I think that's what we sign up for, and I'm comfortable with keeping offering the virtual attendance. I don't appreciate getting sworn at during the meeting. And so we can fix that to make sure there's no audio coming from the participants, but I'm all for transparency, and unfortunately, people are just gonna cherry pick, what they want or don't want for social media, but that's kind of what we sign up for, and as long as we can do it without being interrupted during our meetings, that's where I'm at. It's gotta be consistent, just reaching out to Melissa for one group or another group and not making it open to everybody. I think it's difficult, so having it on the website, people can click on it, it's probably the most consistent. And do it for all the meetings. I don't know if like zoning, do all the meetings meet here? Or do all the committees?
Except for,
Highway, we meet down at the advent building.
Yeah. You guys have you guys have the ability to? No, okay. I don't know, I don't know if that's a gray area or whatever, but
and I don't clerk all those
Well,
meetings.
yeah.
That's.
They're posted. We have folks stop in down there.
okay,
We've had the press there.
yeah.
We're not hiding anything.
But it sounds like your meeting was interrupted, right?
Yeah.
And with foul language, we don't need that. And calling the committee idiots. I mean, that's,
It's created a forum for board members that insulted because their parents had been insulted. Whatever. That doesn't bother me personally.
Mhm.
It's not fair to the board. It stifles conversation. And it just creates a forum for hate. That's what it does. And so we gotta do it fine, but I don't agree with it.
And we don't have to do it. We just gotta be consistent with what we do, so. And maybe the people on the,
What would we have the authority to block the group that?
no, you can't.
Can't.
But you have the authority to have it not even optional, so, we can just make a county policy that says. Only time for virtual attendance is just for supervisors for extenuating circumstances or the attorney that lives in Madison, but. If you're a member if you're a Jackson County resident, don't do your best, yeah. And that's an option too, so.
I do know, sometimes employees, when they have the opportunity, they like to log in and listen.
It doesn't have, no, I don't think we can take stuff from the floor, so.
I believe we beat 19.81 subsection 1 by posting, which required provide a gallery for people to come to the meetings if they wish to attend them. And we also have the news media, they come here and report the meeting. And we've had people from the Cross Tribune, if they saw something important, they came in on it. I don't really see any need for extending it out to virtual attendance.
So
Do we create a do we have to create a policy or narrow down on something?
Sam?
Are you looking, so you want to I mean, I do think it makes sense to have it specified likely within chapter 2 of the county's code for board rules, just specifying how you want to structure it. So that's where so we'd be able to assist with putting together like an ordinance amendment for your next meeting, addressing how you want to structure the remote appearances or not allow or allow.
I think that.
And I would just,
Excuse me, go ahead, Sam, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I would just be sure, as you think about it, obviously think about it from a macro policy perspective. And the public, overall, not necessarily about any particular person or anything, just kind of from a policy perspective overall.
well, should we visit the next meeting then?
I think we can work with Sam to draft an ordinance, if that's the pleasure of the committee here to, have some exceptions for the supervisors, but it does provide some difficulties. With people being interrupted and people getting highlighted.
So you want the ordinance to go into the direction of no virtual attendance except for board supervisors, presenters.
As a legal representation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
This would end up for the full county.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe if we could have it put together an ordinance, bring it back, like, finance.
Sure.
Fire.
Okay,
Okay,
Yeah, you'll be famous now, Mike.
I like this thing.
Good.
maybe Sam.
So Sam's next, if he has additional information, Sam?
Yeah, so I don't really have anything specific. I mean, it's been pretty busy in general for Corporation Council, just between the kind of routine DHHS matters, and then some ongoing records requests, contract review matters. So it's pretty busy, but nothing in particular that I felt needs to be addressed, by the committee right now at this point. Happy to answer any questions anyone has.
Questions for Sam.
Okay, thanks, Sam. We're down to department reports, animal shelter.
Morning. The big news for June was the intake of 38 chihuahuas. Thank God they weren't pit bulls. We started the month with 9 dogs and 42 cats. At the end of the month, we had 31 dogs and 51 cats. Today we're down to 22 dogs and 55 cats, so we're in a little better place. With the chihuahuas, of course, it made kind of national news, actually. It went around, many states around the United States called us asking what they could do to help us, which was really kind of crazy. But a lot of donations came in, food, cleaning supplies. We did have some money come in. One thing that came out of that, that we are gonna work on as a project is to get a card reader. That way we can use debit cards, credit cards, and actually people can take a look at sending us money through cards where, you know, they wouldn't be able to send us a check. I think it's a good opportunity for more people to set up donations, even monthly donations. Northwood Vet was very instrumental in care of some of the animals that we did bring in on that welfare case. We had a few pregnant mamas. Another one just had babies, eight babies. We have another one ready to give birth any day. Monroe, Cooley, and Hoping for a Home were fantastic to work with within a day to 2 days. I had a bunch of animals moved into their care, and they're up for adoption as well. Staff, were a little short-staffed. We have 2 full-time employees, myself and our humane officer. We have a 20-hour-a-week person and then 2 8-hour-a-week persons. So we're running a little thin. We did pick up a few volunteers for dog walking and cleaning, so that's helping us a little bit. And overall, our volunteer hours were down to only 82 hours in the month of June. So we're hoping to build that back up as people come off of summer vacation, things like that. We had a few additional calls, but again, the big one was the Chihuahuas. We have 7 left. So if anybody is looking to adopt a Chihuahua, come on by.
Mike, you have a dog?
How many chihuahuas in a pen?
How many? Oh,
I don't know what this big.
yeah, they're only between 8 and 12 pounds.
They're kind of mean though, aren't they?
We've socialized them for yeah, especially if you get a treat. Yeah.
Did a good job.
Yeah.
I read about it, heard about it.
Yeah, it was really, it was an interesting and fun and crazy time. I mean, the weather, it was super, super hot. It was wonderful that we got them in when we did. Yeah, very good.
Thanks, Amy.
Mhm.
Human resources.
I guess it's me today, but Cam next month. Yeah, Cam has joined us, so we're super excited to have a new HR director on board. He's met a bunch of the, several of the, managers and department heads. He hasn't yet, he will be soon. A few things on our plate is now that we have him on board, we're gonna move forward more on like the HHS director that got approved today, so we can move forward on that. It's requested by the committees. The administrative coordinator / administrator, however we want to go that route. I know the sheriff's department's got some stuff going on that Cam's been already working on with the unions negotiations coming up, so we're busy, but we're happy to have him on board and continue to move us forward.
You're still happy to have me on board?
We'll get you converted to it.
Really?
IT?
Morning, or good afternoon.
Yeah.
Monthly update, we're always, as we always keep up with our updates, patching, keep all of our servers, our switches, our VX rail system, and any network equipment that we can update on a monthly basis, we do our firewalls, our APs specifically too. Got that all taken care of, everything's going well there. Several threats and attempts, but we're squashing them as they come out. Several open requests for records, keep fulfilling those, so it's taking time though. So a lot of my guys are quite busy with those, but keep doing them, no problem. We got a fix for the iPads now, so that's nice for the county board iPads, and if anyone else is still having issues, stop downstairs. You guys can see it, it's just a simple fix with the time. For some reason, it didn't like the setting the time frame for manually versus automatic. As long as you set it for that, it seems to fix the issue. Stupid, but that's happening for you. Group 3 PCs all ordered and we received them, which was great. We got them fast. The bad part, the prices of them have went up significantly. Memory costs has went up 90 to 95%. From last year, and they look like they're gonna go up another 30 to 60% into 2027. Something we'll have to factor into our budgeting process as well, but we're definitely seeing it on our budget this year as well. So fortunately, we did build in a small cushion, because we kind of saw this coming from last year about, I think we increased it by 10%, so we're gonna be up against it, but I think we're gonna get just over the hump. But something that to be aware of, I'm sure everybody's hearing that every day data centers, cost of chip, memory and all that kind of continue to increase. Worked with Savage Heating on the behalf of the facilities department. They did a VPN networking and a controller panel set up. Seems to be working well. We're nice and cool, so couldn't call it a win. Yeah, that went pretty smoothly, so that was great. We're starting to look at our budget for 2027. As I had mentioned, we start looking at costs, kind of trends from last year, trends for this year. We've seen some huge trends going just even to the first quarter. And of course, this year, like we've talked for the last couple of years at this meeting, is the year that we're going to be replacing our VX rail system. It's now going to go end of life. As of September 2027, no longer any subscription updates for it. So we want to make sure that we get that going and get it going fast. So that's a big ticket item, and seeing some major costs. We're going to be working with our network vendor to see where we are with it and get costs, obviously by budget time for sure. And departments are sending us requests for budget information, so we're working on that. We're gonna have the inventories completed. And then based on what we talked about earlier, right now we're seeing PCs that have gone up between $800 to $1,000 per piece from all over last year. So significant jump. I remember we're just buying computers a few years ago for $1,000, and now we're seeing that as just an increase. So sorry, I don't get news in that.
Any questions for Ken? Thanks, Ken. DSO?
That's me again. So June, it was pretty average month as far as foot traffic. We actually had the same exact amount of people in the office last month as we did in May, 122 people in the office, 44 claims to the VA. Did 11 rides. We've been right around that 9 to 11 rides a month for like the last 3 or 4 months. Pretty average month there. The one thing that we did have a uptick in, I had onboarded 15 new veterans into my office last month. That's a number that I put on my report every month. I start doing that a few months ago. I like to see that number. That means our outreach is doing well. The one outreach event that we did last month with the ADRC Senior Fair, that was awesome. We got to talk to a lot of people. A couple of those 15 new veterans were from that event. And then did our normal WWIS and WHTL radio shows. I always get 1 or 2 people a month that come to my office and say, "Oh, I heard you on the radio. I want to talk to you about this." So I'm gonna keep doing those. They're successful in getting new people into the office. Pretty much all I got. Say we got questions.
Thanks. Court system?
Morning. So as of June 30th, I received the Director of State Courts July 2026 payment for the circuit court costs. Those amounts are calculated from the 2025 annual report of actual costs. That's that large report that I'm required to submit by May 15th, where they take every expenditure and all revenues for the whole court system. We are grateful for the 25-27 biannual budget bill, that 2025 Wisconsin Act 15 that increased the funding for local assistance by that 10 million, giving the counties that additional support. So prior to 2025, each branch was allowed paid out $42,275 per branch. That's increased to $65,000 per branch, giving us an additional $45,450. So we are with the dollar amount, so I get the first payment in July or August. July, sorry, we got the first payment. The last payment will come in January, and that's backdated for the year.
So we'll be at $228,000. We are down a little bit from last year, about $4,500, and that's based on the reimbursement for interpreters. We are fortunate in Jackson County that we don't have a huge interpreter issue. Interpreters are known to, they're fighting with the contract now. They cancellation fees, they want a 2-month cancellation, so the Wisconsin County's administration and the clerk court administrators we're working on getting them contracts so they're not so expensive. But last year I had $2,400 in interpreter fees and I was reimbursed $2,430. So my mid-year budget looks average. Last year, my jury expenditures came in at $13,000 below budget because we had very few jury trials. This year, not so much. The end of the month, we're gonna have a 5-day. August, we have a 5-day, and some other multiple 5 days that are coming before the end of. Questions?
Thanks, Jim. Register of deeds,
Rebecca had to leave for another meeting, so you can
Okay.
receive her report in your packet. And I did not receive a report from the medical examiner.
so Ken, did you have any more to share with us today?
Yeah, thanks for having me today. I look forward to giving this report at future meetings. I know I'm on the agenda for quite a few different committees with economic developments and tourism tide. June 26th marked the 6-month date of the department being established. That's very exciting. What I've had out to you is just a little summary. So my report is more or less what is economic development, how does it impact the community, and a little background on my department and where we are today. So this form handed out to you all came from a WIDA, without an H, Wisconsin Economic Development Association webinar on what is economic development, and Ms. Pettibone actually was part of that conversation, so I appreciate you attending that webinar. That was very cool. Basically, economic development used to be smokestack chasing and job creation. In a world where now economic development is kind of the system steward of resources to help grow a tax base, we are tied into much more than that. So this 2-page handout kind of ties what economic development is and does. And at the end of the day, it's about jobs, opportunity, growing tax base, and increasing the quality of life. And economic development touches everything from housing to health, well-being, education, tax-based public services, infrastructure, business growth. So while there still is some smokestack chasing involved with it, it's going to be more comprehensive beyond that. So this is a good summary of what economic development is. And then further on your iPad presentation that I submitted, I'm using the Harrison Street campus as a case study of what economic development could do through the county and partnering with other municipalities in which the campus impacts. So again, economic development, we have my philosophy, the 3R philosophy of retain, recruit, and recreate, since I'm also part of tourism. Robert does a great job as our tourism authority. So I feel the tourism side of my job is to assist and help Robert expand upon the needs of Jackson County. And I'll touch on that in a little bit. But really being a system steward, being a resource of what's available, what's out there to help our business community grow and flourish, along with how to grow a workforce base, how to recruit businesses and people and industry to the area. So again, with Harrison Gateway being a tax base and continued county need, as a case study example, Jackson County has actual facility need for it, and that's our land. But it's in the city of Black River, so there's already layered municipal structures as part of it. So a little layout of what could be expected. The recycling program location is probably first and foremost. What happens to recycling? Where does it go? County comprehensive space study that Rick's putting together is going to be launching here soon, like at least the initial input from county board directors. Environmental and brownfield studies. I know there's been some study done on the site. That was where the former gas station was. However, there's a lot of unknowns with what's even on that property, what's in the building, what's in the highway department maintenance building, what's in the administrative building. So all of that's gonna have to be taken into consideration. Site analysis, economic feasibility and zoning. That's also part of it. What does zoning look like for that property? Can it even be condo zone that have multiple units, have multiple entities layered in one building and one structure that encourages a public-private partnership with county space along with private development through it. And then 5, 6, and 7, property capital stack, request for proposals, developer agreements, those kind of happen currently. We won't really know what the capital stack looks like until we know what request for proposal is accepted, what developer wants to help develop the area, who are all the players involved, and certainly is the use of the property meeting the needs of the county at the end of the day, and how is it increasing our tax base as we see a property 5.5 acres doesn't come around often, especially in downtown locations where no one needs to be evicted. There are 2 or 3 residential properties down there, so some conversation could come about that. But we don't know what that looks like yet. Maybe 5 acres. Again, you don't have 5 acres of land in a downtown without having to raise a bunch of buildings first. And not only that, but if you look at the comprehensive, there's also city-owned property across the causeway or the floodway, which could also be considered as part of an overall comprehensive development for public use, land use, private residence, commercial properties, things like that. So, just an example project, I went to New Richmond and looked at the new library. I know Black River doesn't need a library, but New Richmond, they had a unique case where the school district owned property. They turned over to the New Richmond Development Authority, which then they did a comprehensive use of what can be done here. At the end of the day, they realized that the library was only 10,000 square feet. They've expanded it to 30,000 square feet of a public use source, which the city maintains control over. There's a coffee shop on the front end. I'm not advocating for one industry over another. We have great coffee shops here already in Black River Falls. But there was one small retail space and then 3 stories of moderately priced housing above that. There's also another property where they built some luxury condos or townhomes behind that. And as the pictures show, it was built next to a fire station. So this stuff does exist in cities. I know New Richmond's a little bigger than Black River Falls, but this stuff happens in municipal areas where land is sparse and creative ideas need to flow in. So this Harrison Street review is just an idea, an example of what economic development projects looks like. They're definitely integrated with other departments, with other needs, but municipalities. They're not easy, but they certainly can be creative and bring out some great expansion of tax base and meet some needs. We all know Jackson County needs housing. We need this, we need that. So we have to look at development opportunities as they come and how they impact what we're trying to accomplish. As far as some high level deliverables in my first 6 months, I'm working with the Seven Rivers Alliance on their small business grant opportunity that they have coming out. Application deadline for that is August 1st. So I've distributed a little business template along with the cover sheet and had conversations with quite a few businesses on what it could mean for their business to do so, helping with the business plan review as well as the application review on the back end. And then it's up to the business owner to apply. And I know Robert's been doing a great job with the chamber on getting that information out as well. The town of Millston has a brownfield project right now. The old Schmeckar building, restaurant, and hotel. There's trees growing out of it, open holes in the roof. They're looking down the path of what they can do to restore that property, not to restore the land, not necessarily the building. It's owned by a gentleman who's well into his ages. It's in a trust fund. So they have some steps to figure out and go through. But if we can return that 1.14 acres into a taxable entity for the township and the state or the county, that's a win. And I'm working with, they've been working with the DNR. I've been working with Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation on finding money to help the town restore that lot into a usable place. The Jackson County Child Care Network, I'm helping them figure out their $1.038 million congressional allocation to increase daycare sites within the county. We've paired up with a couple of organizations and agencies that can help them with some Davis-Bacon and labor law needs, as well as RFPs when it comes to hiring contractors that they're going through the proper steps. A lot of federal guidelines are, or regulations are more guidelines, but not when it comes to Davis-Bacon. You will get hefty fines if you don't follow that appropriately. I've been working on broadband expansion, specifically fiber to the premises expansion projects throughout the county. The Village of Maryland reached out about an active TID that they have. It's one of the few active TIDs we have in the county itself. Black River Falls has some TIDs, and I believe the Village of Maryland, that might be it. Ron, I think that's it, right? Those municipalities. So tax increment districts, they're looking at some public improvement, potential public improvement projects out of that. So I'm bringing some resources to them to help get it figured out how to approach that with available money. And their TID is actually cash flow positive, which is unusual for TIDs, especially it's only 7 years in and they're already in positive cash flow. And other than that, tourism seems to be growing. What Brady and Robert for tourism dollars last year? $66 million in tourism dollars were spent here in Jackson County. It's holding fairly steady with the year prior. And one of the tourism events that I helped set up in the first 6 months was Living the Dream Carbon Sale. It was a chainsaw carving competition at the Ho Chunk Nation a couple of weeks ago. The weekend before the 4th of July. It went very well. Final numbers are coming in for that. But the Ho Chunk Nation has reached out to the organizer of the event saying, we can't wait for next year. We're gonna do it earlier in June. It's gonna be bigger and better, and more marketing will go behind it as a result. So everyone was happy. It was a pretty cool event, and I know the sheriff attended as well. And it was a pretty cool event for the community, and draws in a lot of our different heritages of economic heritage that we have as a county through forestry and logging and harvesting of our natural resources. Setting up the thing for that, because she said, oh, fantastic, excellent. Save the Date will be coming out soon. So that was my report. Short and sweet. If there's any questions, I'm always available.
So do we have any updates on Bug Tussle?
Yeah, they are not doing any more continued constructions in the county. They are looking at selling off the assets that are sitting at the highway shop. There's some delegation that needs to happen. They can't just up and sell it without the county approving the sale. And any money that's raised out of that sale for the security agreements needs to go back to either pay down the bond or the construction project itself. So if they sell the assets to a company that wants to continue the construction project as Bug Tussle presented, that's okay. The money is still going towards the project. If they sell the assets and it goes somewhere else, then the money from that sale proceed needs to come to us and paid off the bond. Other than that, they're performing fairly well. There's an 11 county coalition. We weren't the only county that worked with Bug Tussle. There were 10 other counties across the state. So we're working as a coalition to kind of figure out next steps, remediation, what to do. I know there's a few cross department conversations on gaining access to the towers that Bug Tussle has, which should be part of the security agreement already. So we're working on that. A lot of the information on Bug Tussle is public in terms of towers owned, who owns what towers, their construction within the county. So yeah, it's ongoing. There's some action that's going to be taken, but we're all trying to figure out the steps though. But yeah, thanks.
The next one is discuss budget parameters, and it's not really so much about the parameters, as we know we won't get the insurance information until hopefully August, like we said. But it's just letting you know that the budget packets did go out to all the departments to begin work on From there, we have to decide what the deadline is going to be, unless Caitlin, did you put a deadline on it?
I think it's September sixth.
September sixth. And from there, then we'll start reviewing those, so we need to come up with 2 dates.
Okay.
From the end of September, that we can sit down, start going through that information. Can we just go ahead and safely pick a couple of days at the end of September, or?
Could be able to. Want to pick them at the next meeting or?
Yeah, why don't I bring back the dates to the next meeting and we'll finalize that, but
Okay.
we are beginning to work on the budget. Caitlin, was there anything else?
No, just haven't had heard it yet, so waiting on the facts, so.
Financial updates?
You should have gotten the report in your packets. So as far as expenditures, we're at like about 49% through June of our budget. Looking at some of our expenses, there doesn't seem to be anything too crazy out of line. There are a couple of things that, as I look at this again, I just have some questions for Caitlin. I'll ask those when we get back. But Caitlin also didn't feel like there was anything too out of line looking at this. We're about 58% on revenues, so that's good to see that above that 50% mark for half a year, so.
Anyone has any questions on that?
If the county board line item goes over budget, does it come out of Mike's wage or what happens?
I'm not second chairman.
Oh,
I paid off.
well, I'm not paid either, but what happens? Like, have we ever gone over?
I think it goes to the second vice chair.
Okay,
Sure.
all right, well, I'll be washing dishes, I guess.
We did also get the county sales tax, and so for June, it was almost 164,000. Sales tax.
I talked to the treasurer, I asked her. We used to, it's Jackson County, year to year, you know, what it was a year ago.
Oh, for comparison?
Yeah, just, I assume it's increasing, I mean, everything costs more.
Yes.
But just kind of hard to count, I don't hear about lacrosse county or Burton County, it's one of them.
Compare from last year.
Yeah, sure, maybe even 24, 25, 26.
Okay.
See, hopefully we're trending the right direction. Kind of the barometer of our local economy, you know, something we're spending.
Sure. I'll have that for the next meeting.
The bills are next.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any questions on the bills?
Too many.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
I think last month, it's brought down. Downtown highway. Harrison Street, yeah, please. How did what did that maximum?
Yeah, we've been I maybe forgot about, I'm glad we didn't talk about it today, though, we'll also be here till 1 o'clock, but just trying to set up like the parameters, that's how I move forward, I think I think he's kind of volunteered to take the lead on that.
I'm more interested in whether it's an ad hoc committee or certain committee. So, seems like we have 2 or 3 committees. Off of them. And I don't think that's gonna be forward. Certainly there's somebody, but I've heard discussions, there's private individuals. Well,
It should be property or version.
yeah, and I don't, if property or you want them to take care of it or. We've had
That's how it will get to property, but how does it get there? I think is what you asked.
Yeah, and I think highway has a piece of it too, see, it's out to highway.
Very much so.
So, yeah, whether you do ad hoc or. I don't across the, and a library down there for sale, or they decide to sell it. They requested proposals from them. Whoever they may be, city, private, developers, whatever. So I think we need to get someone get that information. Once a year from now, I hope.
Yeah.
The building, soon as someone, if they don't. Hope so, yeah. So next agenda, maybe next one.
Okay.
Good.
Order to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.